Okay, hello. I've got this Breville Toaster Oven that I've been using for quite a number of years, and all of a sudden the toaster oven would not heat up. It would turn on, and the display would work, and I would be able to change the settings. All of this was working, and when I would press start, it says it was running, but it would not heat up, and you couldn't hear the heating elements as you normally can kind of hear the buzzing sound when they're running, when they're just starting. So did some research and found that the problem is normally one of three things. I'll come around to the back and show you what those could be. Alright, this is a view from the back, obviously with the back cover removed. And a common problem that people cite is the fuse, the thermal fuse here. I tested it by doing a simple continuity check by disconnecting one of the leads, and then I pulled back the white sheathing here and was able to expose the contacts on the fuse. By doing a continuity check, it checked out good. There was a beeping noise, a continuity through the fuse, so I knew that it wasn't that. Next thing I checked was the heating element circuit itself. There's actually two circuits in there. In order to get to that, I had to remove the side cover here, and there's actually three screws all the way up in the front. Sorry, actually that's four screws all the way up in the front that I had to unscrew. They're all the way there. You can see one of them, and there's one at the bottom, and then there's actually two at the top. I'm not sure if it's necessary to unscrew both of the ones at the top, but I did those as well. So you have to have a really long screwdriver or rig up something like I did in order to get those off. But once you can, then you can disconnect the heating element, one of the heating element circuits from the circuit board, and do a continuity check on those as well. And then you can test the other one, which is the circuit at the top, the two heating elements at the top. All of that checked out fine for me. So then I said, well, maybe it's the thermostat. And the thermostat is this little guy right here on the back. It's a little black bulb that is just sitting out in the back corner of the unit. And as you can see, there are two wires here with a single connector. You can't really just check that for continuity because it won't beep through even with a good thermostat. So I took a chance. I found one online, a parts store. I'll put the part numbers in the comments below. And I just bought it because it was $3 plus shipping. Took a chance and got it, and then I swapped it out, tested it, and the unit works. It actually starts heating now. So I'm in the process of about to put this thing back together, but I wanted to share what my troubleshooting process was and what the problem was in order to get it working. If you have any suggestions on how others can troubleshoot this, or perhaps test the thermostat without buying a new one, please drop those in the comments below. Of course, before you take apart any of this, it needs to be unplugged. So you can see sorry for the shoe, but I've unplugged the unit before. I stuck my hand in there just now to show you what was going on. And I plugged it back in just to demonstrate that it was working temporarily. So I'm going to show you how I removed the back cover and exposed this side panel here. I'm going to show you in reverse as I put it back together. The thing that I need to put together first is the three screws that are hardest to reach. I've actually already put the two at the top, the three at the top in place. So there are two up here in this corner, and there's one in the middle, and then there's one more at the bottom. So I'm going to do the one at the bottom next. Actually, I did that one. It's already done. Now that those are in place, I'll be able to flip the unit over. I've got the unit upside down, and I'm going to show you how to take the front foot off, because that part has just a little trick to it. But I'm going to take the opportunity just to ask you if this video is helpful at all. Please hit the subscribe button, because that will help YouTube to continue to support my channel. So at this point, you're going to see the front feet have these metal bars, it looks like, on the front. But simply, if you unscrew this small screw that's sitting in that section, and this whole part peels out. Now be careful, there's three pieces here. The rubber, the screw, and this metal bar. But inside you'll see there's two more screws. Those are the real screws holding it all together on the front corner. All three of these are going to have to come out so that you can open up that side panel. And you shouldn't need to undo anything on the opposite side of the unit, on the right side, or what would be the left, because it's upside down right now. But really, only the foot that's above the control panel and the screws behind it will need to come out such that you can access the control panel. I also want to add that for this project, even if you're not one of those people that likes to mark the position of every screw and tape things together, I highly recommend it on this project. There's a lot of screws for one, but also this particular screw is unique amongst all the other ones. It's actually longer than the other 11 screws that are used to assemble the feet for whatever reason. So just want to point that out. It's good to keep close watch on all that. All right, I'm gradually working the back onto the unit, and you'll see that the lips on the side and on the top actually fit over the edge of the back panel, and so it's kind of a chore to work it back in there. As someone else said on their video, remember, these are put together by robots, and robots don't have fingers that get cut. There's a lot of sharp edges on here, so be careful. But you see the gap here? That's the gap I have to close. I need to slip this panel underneath that lip, and then I'll be ready to start putting the screws back in to tighten up the back. All right, as you can see, I made it, and I didn't slice my finger. So I was able to I had to use a flathead screwdriver to pry this up a little bit while I worked the panel in, but it's in place now, and I can tighten the screws, and the back panel will be done. Then I can do the bottom feet as well in the back. In hindsight, I probably should not have tightened any screws on the side panels before I got this one in place. That would have maybe made this a bit easier. So there's your bonus for watching the video this far through. All right, there you have all the screws that had to come off to pull that back panel off. They're all back on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It keeps on going. All of these. Plug the unit back in. Now mine has this other problem it's been going on for a few years, where it takes a few times to get it to start. But once it does start, I feel heat. Remember to subscribe to this video. Thank you very much. Have a good day.